How's it going, everybody? This is Bill Moss Art, and I believe we're online, and I'm pretty sure you can hear my voice. Let me see here. Let me just check this real quick. I just got done reinstalling everything on my computer, so everything is slightly off. Let me see here. Yeah, just checking on my weird settings and stuff like that. I'm reinstalling everything on my computer from scratch. You know, when you reinstall or when you reboot your computer and start from scratch, I should be able to just use my time machine, which is my backup, and just reinstall the whole computer, right? So, but for some reason, the 20 different ways that I was trying to do that, none of it worked. So I've been reinstalling everything piecemeal, a little bit at a time. And okay, let me go back to the beginning. A few days ago, we had a lightning strike. It was super close to the house. It sounded like somebody hit one of the cars up front. I mean, that's how loud it was. I really thought like it shook the house a little bit. So it blew out a couple of things, like a switcher, an HDMI cable. There was a couple of things, and my Mac was glitching. The startup disk was. What I found out later on at the Apple Store was that the startup got corrupted. So nothing got fried. Nothing got physically fried. So another thing I'm doing right now is I don't have headphones in. So if you hear some echoing, I usually have to have headphones in. So if you hear some echoing or something like that, just let me know so that way I'll just put my headphones back on. Since it's just me, I should be able to actually do the live stream without putting headphones on. I always have to put headphones on just if we have other people in the room or we're talking to other people. Speaking of other people in the room, let's go over to the chat, find out where everybody's at here. Kevin, what's up, dude? I see Kevin says, you brought your computer back to life. I think I will call you Dr. Frankenstein from here on out. It's better than Frankenstein or Frankenfurter. Dude, yeah, bringing this thing back, dude, it's sucked up so many hours. Like, I've done nothing but work on this computer for the past 2 days. Let me have a little drink of water. But thankfully, yeah. And then there's some other things about my computer setup that was weird also. Like, my monitor flickers on and off sometimes for no reason. And so I changed out the HDMI cable and it's been working better. I also had like a desktop thing that was metal. And then my table is one of those kind of tables that kind of goes up and down. It's got some power running through it to go up and down. So because I had that metal desktop, like one of those, like a nice little thing you put on your desktop just to make it nice, have everything neat. But it's metal on the inside of it, even though it's like that fake leather on the outside of it. So I think it kind of just messed with it. So I took all that stuff off. And so far, everything's been working better. It's like, what a freaking MacGyver episode this was. Some person, what's up, dude? Hello, right back to you, my friend. Let's see. Some person, whomever you may be. Kevin says, I can hear you. I know that's good. That's good. What I'm worried about is actually I can't even hear the music in the background. If you can hear the music in the background or you hear some echoing, just let me know. And I will remedy that quickly by just throwing on some headphones. I'm trying to do it without headphones since I'm going solo. So some person says, computer not working. Did you steal Kat's computer? I was this close to actually stealing back her laptop. So I was very, very close to committing theft in the House of Mouse. And luckily, she has I got a Mac Mini provided to us from the heavens above. And Kat also has a Mac Mini. Luckily, her Mac Mini unscathed, no problems. Like, everything is totally fine. So at least I didn't have to worry about like everything up here getting fried. But there was a couple of things, like there's like a simple shit. It's like the printer, for some reason I had to reinstall all the drivers for the printer, so I got that going. we have like a USB hub switcher thing because we both share the printer. We don't, the wireless, we can never get the wireless to work right. It's always kind of fidgety. So we hardwired it to both of our computers, and we got a little switcher. The switcher burnt out. So I got started ordering one of those. Luckily, those are cheap. You can get those for $15. It's not a big deal. Let's see here. Kevin says, an old CRT screen, not even a flat screen. I know. I think at some point, I'm going to update to freaking surround sound, like freaking IMAX. Ken says, Ken, by the way, hi. You didn't say hello, gentlemen. You didn't say good evening, gentlemen. All right, Ken says, I like the background, but it limits the screen space for your amazing art. I was thinking about that too. I wanted to try it for a couple of weeks and see how it worked. Because I kind of liked having a cool border. It looks really nice when I watched it on my Apple TV. But of course, the Apple TV, like the screen is way bigger, right? So it didn't really feel like it was covering up too much of the live area. But you guys tell me. It's like I'll listen to your feedback about this TV screen border thing, and we'll see what we'll do. See if we'll just come up with something different. I mean, the way we had it before with just a logo is totally fine. I just thought it was fun to throw up this little TV screen thing. So let me know, guys. Toss me a thing in the chat saying yes to the TV screen or no to the TV screen. You want to have a little bit more screen space on your screen space. You see, Kevin says, a suggestion. I do it for all my computers. I have a spare drive with a clone drive. So if anything ever goes wrong, I can just swap out the drive, which is cool. I actually, okay, so I got a Mac Mini. It's because the Mac Mini comes with like not terabytes worth of memory that I decided to do this. But I think this is actually the best way for me to do it. I've got everything on my external drive. So I've got this little 8 terabyte external drive, and that's where all my work actually is. So all the artwork and stuff like that. And then I've got a second external drive that functions as the time machine. That's the backup drive. So both of those drives were totally fine. Everything was totally cool about it. So no work got lost as far as I know. And everything was there. The things that I needed to reinstall were all of my I had to reinstall Photoshop. I have to reinstall all of my fonts from scratch. I have to reinstall just all of the things that actually make the computer, like all the settings, put all the settings back where I was used to having them. Thank you, Ken. Evening, gents. But yeah, having that stuff backed up. And here's the thing: is like from the time machine, I had a problem. It's like I took it to the Apple store. They redid everything over there, and it worked perfect. And then I brought it back to the house, and it still glitched, which is the reason I changed out the HDMI cable and I got rid of the metal tabletop and all that stuff that was just messing. Anything that would create static or create more of a issue, I got rid of that stuff. And then I had to reinstall the OS again. And then from Time Machine, I'm supposed to be able to just tell it, just like restore the whole machine. It should just restore the whole thing to all of its previous settings. But obviously, I did something weird, or I skipped a step or something like that, and I couldn't get back to it. And it's just one of those things. Paul, what's up, dude? Glad you're hanging out with us, man. Over here in the middle of my technical trauma. Very cool, very cool. Christopher, what's up, dude? Glad you're hanging out with us tonight. That's awesome. Some person saying hello. That's cool. Courtney, what's up? Happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Saturday back to you. I'm glad you guys are hanging out tonight. This is awesome. I was scared. I thought the computer was fried, or I might have to just look for either replace the computer, because they said there was one of two things that was going to happen with the computer. Either it was just the code that got glitched, it got a little bit messed up, or the logic board got fried. So if it was a logic board, the cost to fix the logic board was as much as replacing the computer. And I'm just like, you guys are high. My God. So everything worked out good. Everything's fine. Kevin says, gents, I feel like putting on the Ritz. Kevin says, "Oh, we have Courtney with us. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Some person is saying hello. That's awesome. How loud is the music, by the way? Because since I don't have my headphones in, I don't know how loud the music is compared to my voice." Kevin says, "I hear some show tunes in the background. Hopefully, it's not too loud. I just want to be that way. When I'm not talking, it's not just like deadly quiet." Paul says, "Maybe we should auction off some person, auction off some person's identity. Let's reveal who some person really is." Some person says, "Bill doesn't even know who I am." I know. You're some person. Living on the edge, my friend, in the world of John Wick. Kevin says, "I dare think today the Cyber Angels find themselves transported to the 90s and into the roles of some famous Baywatch babes." That could be done. I like that idea. All right, we got our first general idea of the evening. Sounding good so far. A little Baywatch kind of action, I think would be nice. Kevin says, "I would dump the border. It's not needed." Okay, that's one vote for against the TV. Granted, my feelings are not going to be hurt. This little TV screen, I just did it for fun. So I mean, it's not tied to my emotions in any way. Let's see. Ken says that or the Saved by the Bell chicks. Kind of like the Baywatch idea. Oh, by the way, I was thinking one regular penciled piece tonight. We're gonna have two pieces we'll shoot for tonight. One regular penciled piece on a normal 11 by 17 sheet of paper that we'll of course ink later, and then we're gonna do one kind of a rendered pencil on our toned paper kind of piece. Let me see. Let me make sure I got. If I got some. Oh, I do got some pencils. I got some pencils I can work with. Yeah, this will work. I got this one. All right, these three ought to do it. All right, so I got a couple of brown pencils that I could work with for that. Let's do something a little bit different tonight. That'll be cool. Paul says, "I think the screen looks pretty cool." Thank you, Paul. All right, that's kind of one vote for no screen and one vote for yes to the screen. Well, I keep the screen up here for a few minutes, and then when we start drawing, maybe I'll take the screen away, so that way we have more vision on the artwork. Some person says maybe some 90s cartoons. I did have I don't know. I had Thundercats in my brains earlier today. That's more 80s, but I think 90s probably holds that too. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Kevin says, "Yeah, but Saved by the Bell had too many clothes on." We'll save some for Showgirls. I know, right? When she transferred over to Showgirls, she had nothing on. Ken says, "Interesting idea." Let's see. Nira, Mercy, Allura, and Malka as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That would be a challenge. That could be a challenge. You got my brain kind of thinking on that right now. Wow, you really got my brain thinking on that. That'll be more of a 90s theme than. But the Baywatch thing is fun too. But that would be a lot easier. Just make them all sexy and put them in the orange outfits and we'd be good to go. But making them turtles, now that's a challenge. Some person says, not that I'm looking to be challenged. I mean, I just want to have fun. But let's see. Some person says, I was thinking Beavis and Butthead. Captain N, the Game Master. Beavis and Butthead is always a possibility. I haven't drawn them in a while. It's been a little while. Beavis. Niobe says, by the way, Niobe, thanks for hanging out with us, man. That's awesome. Let's see. What's the word, Dirty Bird? We're trying to figure that out now. We're tossing some ideas out and kind of seeing what maybe is gonna stick. We're seeing what's going to stick. I might do this tone paper one in brown, or I might do it with a black pencil. We'll see. We'll see. I'll leave these together over here. I might do it in brown. Let's see. Kevin is saying bird. Bird is the word. Christopher says hello. They're very cool. Very cool. Some person says Bill was a part of the animation industry in the 90s. It'll either give him nightmares or nostalgia. It's a little bit of both. Ken says maybe not wearing giant shells, but maybe just like the colored eye masks and stuff. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. I wasn't gonna go like full turtle. Never go full turtle. Some person saying hello. That's cool. Maurice, what's up, dude? Hello, everyone here tonight. Very cool. And I'll be saying hello right back. Very cool. Some person saying hello. Let's see. Some person says the music is at the right volume. Excellent. All right, that's good. I was hoping it'll be fine, and nobody said anything about echoes or anything like that. So cool, man. It's kind of nice not having to wear the headset while live streaming. So that's kind of nice. Ken says up to you, but I would drop the border. All right, so we got 2 votes against the border. You know what's kind of cool is like we could just do the border at the beginning when we're just like kind of talking and stuff, and then once we start drawing, I'll take the border away. Little best of both worlds. Some person says, I guess you could say I am the man that doesn't exist. Some person is Michael Knight. I've got you figured out, man. Paul says, but we still don't get our NES game cover. I know. I was kind of thinking maybe I was going to take once I actually ink some of these pieces that we've done on past episodes and put them in color. I was thinking about superimposing them using a little Photoshop action and superimposing them onto a real onto a photograph of a cartridge. I think that would be funny. But we'll see. We'll see if we can actually fit one in there. Christopher says no to the TV border. Gotcha. Courtney says music isn't too loud. All right, awesome. Kevin says, what can brown pencils do for you? Well, we'll think of that drawing second. This will be for our second drawing of the evening. So we're looking at the first one. And so far, I think the first one of the evening is going to be centered around Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think we're going to have our Cyber Angels looking like turtles tonight. That might be kind of cool. Some person says you could do a mix of 80s and 90s. Thundercats. Hose! Kevin says, oh. Paul says, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They could just have the weapons, the eyewear, but still look like the Cyber Angels. Yeah, I like that idea, Paul. I like that idea. Kevin says, when I hear Beavis and Butthead, I'm always thinking of watching the dog. Kevin says, yeah, just eye masks and nothing else. I know, I'm catching up. I'm almost to the caught up point, and we can start this drawing up. Paul says, not run for the border, but drop the border. I see. You know, I had some Taco Bell yesterday. I ran to the border. Kevin says, does that mean we'll find out that the Splinter was just a shaved cat? Courtney says, Scribe as Splinter. I like how Scribe keeps on making his way in here. I tell you, man, Scribe's got like a whole new life thanks to you guys. I bet Scribe's happy that I listened. Some person says, I think Bill figured out the NES cartridge cover formula by accident. I think we did the last couple of weeks, like the really busy pieces that we've done. I think they would fit in, right? Kevin says, not teenage neutered midget poodles. No. Kevin says, run for the border. I am eating Taco Bell. Yes, Taco Bell. That's the food of choice for all creative people. Yes. Scribe could be Krang. I tell you, man, Scribe makes his way in. One way or another, he makes his way in. Now I may make a run for the bathroom. Well, if your system is not ready for the Taco Bell, you got to be ready for it. You just can't surprise your system with Taco Bell. All right, let's see. I'm gonna leave this right here. And you know what? We're gonna let's do this because we did take a vote on it. We did take a vote. So let's have a little bit more screen space. Look at us. Look at us. All right, here we go. Straighten this up a little bit. So yeah, TV was hiding half of my garbage. That's what's going on. I was using it as a way to hide myself. Okay, now we're good. A little bit better. A little bit better. All right, let me put this back over here where it needs to go. Let's see. Ken says, if any scene can be improved by a random peeping perv, enter a scribe. All right, my friends, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles it is. I don't know who's going to be who, but we're going to start. I'm going to start in a corner, and we're going to work our way around. We're going to see how this. Comes together. You guys take me on journeys, my friend. You guys take me on journeys every weekend. Did I think I was going to be drawing Cyber Angels dressed up as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I did not. But that's what makes this fun, man. It's unpredictable. Hey, if anybody's watching our draw stream for the first time, if you happen to be watching it from the Facebook channel, I would invite you to watch it from our YouTube channel for a couple different reasons. One, the chat is definitely synced a lot better. Well, it's synced a lot better if you're just on the YouTube channel with all of us. Just be on the live chat on the YouTube channel. Plus, also, it helps our numbers, it helps our algorithm, all that good stuff. I always like to broadcast to Facebook so that way you guys can see easily that we're live. But once you know we're here and you're watching, and also we actually auction off these pieces at the end of the show. So our shows usually run from 10 to midnight. We come up with a lot of cool ideas. We see which ones end up agreeing with the blank page. And then I will pencil it with some amount of speed. At least we try to get everything in here. It's kind of, some parts of it are tight, some parts of it are kind of loose. But the intention is that we auction off the piece at the end of each show to one lucky winner. And then after the show, I will ink the piece. I will actually finish the piece. So if you do bid on something and you win something, you're not going to get the unfinished loose pencil. Let me see. Let me grab a piece here that's already been inked. I got a lot of pieces to catch up on, guys. But that's okay, though. That's okay. I'm excited about that. Here we go. So starts off as a pencil piece, but at the when you receive it in the mail, it's going to be a finished inked piece similar to this right here. I'm going to put this back in the shelf where it goes so I don't get lost. All right, cool. Tell you what, let me catch up with the chat real quick, and we're going to continue turning Cyber Angels into turtles. Let's see, Christopher says, how's the art going from last week, and where's the other? This week, I slowed up. I will admit I slowed up this week. But I'll be back on schedule again as far as like my turnaround time and stuff. I'll be back. I'll be back working normal again this coming week. So we have a convention coming up this weekend. It's going to be in Fairfax. It's Fairfax Comic-Con. And we started getting ready for that, and it kind of slowed us up. And plus, we're also working on a couple of book deadlines from our most recent Kickstarters for Nira X for Committed Comics, and also Zen Intergalactic Ninja for First Comics. So I just this past week I just got a little bit slowed up, but I am going to be back in the saddle again this coming week, so everything will be back to normal again. So you'll see some updates a lot faster. And I just spent the last 2 or 3 days fixing the computer, which is retarded. I hate that the computer took up that much time to fix. But at least it's not broken, and I don't have to buy a new computer, so nothing actually got fried. So we're back in the saddle, dude. Back in the saddle. Let's see. Kevin says, "Can I play Scribe in the movie version?" I would happily lend a hand to each Cyber Angel in need. Both hands if they need support. I will channel my inner jack shit. I'm gonna put that in my notes, my friend. We do a live action. I'm gonna let you know. Maurice says, "Who would be Bebop and Rocksteady?" Oh, that's actually good. That's a good thought. Hadn't really thought about that. I didn't go past the original 4 turtles. I'm wondering who Splinter is going to be. You know what? Or who Shredder is going to be. Maybe Thalia or Evil Nera should be Shredder. But let's see. Let's worry about getting the 4 turtles in here first, and then possibly some pizza. Let's see. Some person says in this scene, Scribe trips on a banana peel and falls face first into Nera's cleavage, which is covered in instant superglue. At least Scribe will die a happy death. Kevin says, "Why is there a piece of spiral pasta in my spiral cinnamon twists?" Courtney says, "We Cyber Angels don't need much support if you haven't noticed." Paul says, "Slowed up. Do you also hurry down?" I know. That's a good point. Paul gets an extra point for that one. That's actually a good one. Ken says, let's see, Maurice, "Fun story. I have a friend that named her boobs Bebop and Rocksteady." Kevin says, "I know you don't need the support all the time, Malka, but now and then you can use a pick-me-up and a massage." Christopher says, "I was saying, where's the Chris? Where is the Chris? If it's, let's see. I can't show you yours unless I put Post-it notes and stuff on it. And so I repenciled parts of it, Christopher, because the poison ivy is a not safe for work one. So I had to repencil certain parts of it, and I don't have Post-it notes handy. So, but when you see the ink, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Some person says Thundercats versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kevin says shred her. Torn up costumes, anyone? See, that's good. I like that idea. Oh, Chet says, "Hey, Chet." Chet says Paradox as the Shredder. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I like that idea. Kevin says, "Tell me, does your Cyber Angel need support?" Ken is saying hi to Chet. Awesome. Saying hello. Kevin says, "Oh, Post-its." Yeah, I've got let me see. I've got a couple Post-its. Here we go. Let me try this real quick. I got 2 Post-its. Let me put them on here before. I need 3 Post-its because we also lost some of the foliage on Christopher's piece. So this is the cool poison ivy piece that we'll be inking for Christopher here very, very, very soon. Hopefully in the next week and a half or so. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be good. I see. Christopher said, "I did it again. Sorry, I was saying, where's the other Chris in the chat?" Oh, I got you. We're looking for another Chris. Well, we got to look at your artwork anyway, so that's always fun. Where is Christy Han? Where is the Christy Han? Ken says Paradox is a good idea, Chet. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Paradox. That's a super good idea. Kevin says, "Wow, the Chet is in the room." Ken says, "I learned about Paradox on an Apple TV show." Yes, you did, Ken. Oh, wait, I got a thing. I could do a thing. Wait a minute. I could do a thing. I could show you guys that Nira X was actually on Apple TV. Check this out.
You cosplay? Yeah, I cosplay Nira X at Moonfest every year.
Can you believe that? Nira X on Apple TV. That's awesome. Let's see. Chet says, "Yep, I'm here, Kev. Cool. Hey, it's the other Chris. Chris Dehan in the house. Everybody was asking where you were, my friend." He says, "Hello to all. That's good. That's good." Kevin says, he didn't get the notification. We have a chance at winning tonight. Chris says, "You trimmed the hedges on that piece." I did. I trimmed them up nice and tight. Kevin says, Poison Ivy got hit with Agent Orange with the post-its. Very cool. Chris saying hey to some person. That's awesome. Saying hello back. That's awesome. Yeah, Christopher was asking about the other Chris. We got the Chris's asking about each other. Kevin says, now we need the TV frame. Chet saying hello. Very cool. Chris Dehan saying hello. Awesome. Courtney says, did you have a TV debut party for Nira, Bill? You know what? We actually gave the studio the material that they needed for that episode, like I think it was like 3 years ago. And I actually did not know if it would make it on the series or not. So lo and behold, cut to 3 years later, and I didn't find out from the studio at all that they had used it, and they actually made Nira a talking point of the episode. They're actually mentioning her by name, and she's part of one of the gags that they did. I found out from people telling me on Facebook, congratulations for being on Apple TV. So I found out from the fans. I found out from everybody else first. So I was just as surprised as anybody else, because I wasn't really sure if and when they were going to have her in the episode. So it was a good surprise that day. All right, let me get this mask on here real quick. I gotta make sure Nira has a cool mask, looking like a turtle. I think I'm gonna put her hair back in a ponytail, so that way the ponytail kind of acts like the back of the mask, the way the turtles have it. That'll be cool. And we'll be able to tell which turtle the girls are trying to be by which weapons they are holding. All right, we're gonna pull her hair back a little bit. Little ponytail action. Probably put them like on top of a building or something like that, kind of like overlooking the city a little bit. You know, a little, maybe a brooding or not a brooding piece, but like an action piece on a rooftop. I think that would be cool. All right, I'm gonna have her ponytail just going off to the side for now until we figure out what everybody else is doing. All right, so far so good. Let me give you a little bit of a close up. There we go. A little closer. See what we're doing there. All right, let me catch up with the chat real quick. Let's see. Christopher says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you that my comic shop had some Nira X action figures. Ah, that's cool, dude. That always makes me happy when I know that they're out there in the wild. That's cool. Chris says the TV frame could come in during the auction time. Oh, that's actually cool. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, I thought the TV frame was just fun. I could always have it like at the beginning of the show, like we're just kind of like talking, saying hi to everybody, and then we start up the artwork, and then we'll open it up, and we can always bring it back for the actual auction part. Let's see. Kevin says had, but you bought them all. Let's see. Christopher says at Kevin, nope. I just remembered it now from the Nira Apple app. But I'm going to ask the shop if they still have it. Ah, cool. Kevin says Nira is as bald as a turtle too. The things that Kevin knows. Paul says just now opening eBay package of Nira poster and Nira card. I like the irony of opening mouse mail during weekly mouse. Yes, that is good. That is highly approved. We're good. Let's see. Ken says that's because the drapes match the carpet, Kevin. Kevin says you need to get the glow in the dark Nira X in action figure. She's got some joints. She's got some action. She's got a little bit of action. Not as much as the Mercy action figure. The Mercy action figure, holy crap. She has like ankles, knees, hips, waist, upper waist, neck, and then she's got like wrist, elbow, shoulder. I mean, she's got like freaking 1,000 points of articulation. I got away with murder. You could bend her all around. Kevin says, "Wait, those weapons aren't the ones the turtles used. I don't remember any turtle with a whip, a flogger, and a cat of nine tails." Kevin says, "Seeing Frasier on TV is kind of meta." Courtney says, "Can Malka have nunchucks?" Ah, your request is well welcomed. Malka shall have nunchucks. We'll make that happen. We're going to make that happen. RJ, what's up, dude? Glad you're hanging out with us tonight. We're over here doing some drawing, coming up with some ideas. Kevin says, I never saw the Mercy. You never saw the Mercy figure? Oh, man. I might be able to reach into the back room. Let me go to the back room real quick. You'll forgive me if I walk away all the way to the back room. I'm trying to find this Mercy figure. It takes me a second because I have her way up high on the wall. This is literally the last one that I have. I used to have like cases of these action figures, but there's the Mercy action figure right there. Yeah, she's got hip joints, knee joints, ankle joints. She got big old boots. It was great. The 90s were just so good to us, man. We made a couple different action figures. We got the Mercy action figure here. Let's see. Did we make Allura already? No, I don't see Allura on here yet. We did a lot of action figures back in the 90s. So now you've seen the Mercy action figure. I can't believe you haven't seen it before. That's crazy. Okay, let me catch up with the chat real quick. We're going to continue. I got tired. I had to crawl up on a table in order to get this thing up off the wall. Let's see. Christopher says, Bill, I sent you a pic on Facebook. Oh, yeah. I remember seeing the picture. Yeah, that's cool. Seeing the figures out in the wild always makes me happy, dude. Kevin says, just pulled her up on eBay. Yep. You should be able to find, like, I don't know if you could find the Allura and the Mercy figures, but I know you could find the Nira X figures. Chet says, wasn't there a regular and white variant of Mercy? Yes, there was. I don't remember if there was another one too. There was a couple other variants for Mercy and for Allura. I remember Allura even had like a bubblegum variant. They made like a lot of different ones. It was like this purple and pink kind of combination. Kevin says, big old boots. Yeah, that's what he said. Some person says that figure is Bill's retirement fund. My goodness. Yeah, I've been selling those figures for like the past 20 years. I'm finally out of them. That's my last one. It's the one that I just put up on the wall as part of the archive. Ken says, my favorite Mercy action figure variant is the one with the gold wings. Her skin and the color variant of the wings and armor is great. Oh, thanks, dude. Kevin says, no, I saw that Mercy. I just didn't realize she had that much articulation. I thought it was another figure. Oh, gotcha. And clear one too, and a frosted glass version. Yeah, Nira does have a clear version. The glow in the dark one is like the most fun one. I like that one a lot. Chet says Allura has a bunch of variants. She does. Yeah, she's got a bunch of different. I think she even has one where she's got like reddish brown hair. I'm not even sure if I have all the. I just have the main versions of them up on the wall. All the rest of them, they're all gone, man. They're all gone. All right, let's see what pose we're going to have here. And we're going to have, Malka's got to have nunchucks. So we're going to make sure that Malka has nunchucks. So we got Nira first. Get her up front. Let me see what's going on over here. I got things dinging everywheres. Oh, Christopher. Yeah, Christopher Bouchard. He sent me a picture of the I wish we could post these just on the thing in the chat. That's great, dude. Yeah, I like seeing all the figures together like that. And then let's see, Kevin. Oh, you're taking me to a link. Look what you're doing to me, man. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, a couple different variants. Yep. The blue variant. I totally forgot that she had a blue variant too. That's right. Okay, let me get back where he is. See about giving the girls a Ninja Turtle-esque sexy outfit. I think let me see here. Let's have this arm coming up. And actually, I think I'll have Nira holding the katanas. Here we go. I'll give this a little bit of space here. That way you can see the whole screen. So I'm throwing up her arms this way, but I don't want her to be pissed at me, thinking that she's gonna look in a tweaky pose or something. So Got to make sure that she can hold the swords cool. These girls are picky, man. It's like you can't just have them holding the swords any which way. And of course, with all these drawings, if something's a little bit loose, all that stuff gets tightened up when we go into the inks. So we have to make sure that we get the general idea, the general pose of what they're doing down first. All right, so we got the hilt of the katana here. There we go. Yeah, I'll give her a little shoulder, or I mean a shoulder. I'll give her a little elbow pad here, like the turtles. Let me just get these little lines in here real quick, and then I'm going to run back, make sure I don't fall behind too much on the chat. Let me just get the angle on the sword here real quick. Doing some little Ginsu knife action. Make sure she doesn't take up too much space. We got to have some nunchucks in here too. There we go. All right, I had to think hard about the arm positions and stuff, so I got quiet for a second there. We're good. I'm still alive. I'm just using all the CPU in my brain. Give her a little arm wrap while we're at it. All right, that's starting to take shape. All right, let me scroll back a little bit. Hopefully I didn't fall too far behind. Ken says Nira has an anime head version too. Yeah, she does. Yeah, they did like an anime manga version of the character. They use the same body. They use the same body sculpt, and they sculpted a new head. And I think the new head was actually drawn and designed by John Cleary. I think you remember him from back in the 90s. I think he was the one that actually drew that one. Ken says the Nira figure was even in a Wizard article. Yeah. I loved ending up in Wizard magazine every now and then. It was really, really cool. I always loved the fact that we had a magazine that was, Wizard had its problems, and people have their things that they say about it. But it was like the Sports Illustrated of comics. It's like the one place. You can go to this one hub and you can see what was supposed to be the hot that month, and who was what, you know what things were coming out to get excited for, all that good stuff. Christiane says, was Nira on the cover of Wizard? No, she was never on the cover. I think we ran an ad in Wizard one time. They always listed her books. Wizard had a section in the back of the magazine that was like a checklist. It was like a comic buyer's guide kind of thing. And they kept on listing all of the Nira X books that I was working on, and also they were listing all of the Zen Intergalactic Ninja books that I had worked on. So it was cool being in there all the time. I did get some other artwork in Wizard magazine a couple of times. Like my very first fan art that I ever colored, it was like a Spider-Woman piece, and it got published in their magazine. I thought that was cool. I was really excited about that. Kevin says things are always better when the costume is an esque version. Yes, I agree. Courtney says they could have the TNMT knee pads. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm thinking like the elbow pads and the knee pads for sure. Yeah. Ken says, no, she was in a Wizard created parody picture. Her figure anyway. Yeah, and there was something else too, especially with the figure. But I remember the parody one. That was the one that sticks out in my mind the most. They had her with like a couple of other figures, like doing some like funny word captioning. I gotta go into the computer and find out. Ken says she was talking with a Colossus figure. Yeah, she was. Yep. Kevin says, did Bill just reference his Cyber Angels as being loose? They're loose. They're in the wild. Kevin says, oh God, I remember that. It was in the price guide section of the magazine. Yeah, it was. Yeah, totally. Ken says, I like turtles. Christopher says, Bill, how many different Mercy figures was there? That is a good question, because the company, I wasn't in like, I worked for that company, and then we partnered with them, but I don't remember exactly how many different Mercy figures we did. I want to say there was like 3 different variants, but there might have been 4. I'm not really positive. And then I'm missing a lot of figures from my collection too. I was moving back and forth. I moved from San Diego to Virginia over the course of the past, who knows how many years. I think I've moved cross country like about 7 or 8 times for one reason or another. And things got lost in transit a couple times. Things got sold a few times. So there's a lot of my checklist that I don't have access to. I need help with. Kevin says, funny that Ken, I see a scan of that part of the page on Bill's DeviantArt page from 2007. You know what? I have not been on my DeviantArt page in a little while. I really do need to freshen that up. I've been on the Facebook pages and on the Instagrams. Haven't really been on DeviantArt. I wasn't really getting a lot of activity on DeviantArt, so I think it falls by the cracks more often than the other pages. Kevin says, is that pizza on her chest? Yeah. Does she need help cleaning that up? Some person says the current version of Nira is kind of anime with the eyes. Yeah, I tend to draw her eyes a little bigger than like really like Western, like the Western style, right? Now let me see what you sent me, Kevin. Oh yeah, totally. I don't know if you can see it on camera. There you go. There's Nira in Wizard magazine. Yeah, I'm super happy that they had fun with her, dude. It was so cool. Yeah, thanks for sending me that link. I'm gonna save that in my phone now. Make sure I have it handy. Let's see. Courtney says, are there any Cyber Angel dudes asking for a friend? Me? I'm the friend. There are Cyber Angel dudes. I haven't done very much with them. I started to go down that route, introducing some characters that were part of the Cyber Angels that were actually guys when we were drawing our series for Avatar Press. and then we just didn't have the time to get into it to introduce more characters. So that could be something that we start delving into now that the new chapters are being written. So thank you for bringing that to the front burner, Courtney, because that could be a thing that we see at some point this year, next year. Kevin says Zazer is a Mog. She's her own best friend. Ken says she's looking for a Cyber Angel Shadow Daddy. Some person says, is this in the sewer or in the Technodrome? You know, it's either going to be in the sewer, or I was kind of thinking like, I mean, I've already drawn her kind of too large on the page to because I was thinking about like standing on a corner of a building, like with the sky in the background at night, like the cityscape in the background. But this might end up having. I think this is going to end up being in the sewer now, because I think her legs are too big now. They're going to fall off the bottom of the page. Kevin says, "Time to dress her up as a Shadow Daddy." Christopher says, "You were a fan of Cyber Cops." I think I remember Cyber Cops from back in the day. Oh, you know what? I was thinking of Psy Cops. You remember Psy Cops? That was a black and white book from back in the day. I think that's a late '80s book. Some person says I suggest those small chompy robots that look like ducks. We might make some room for those guys. That might be a cool idea. Yeah, I like that idea. Let me see if I can throw up some. So I remember generally what they look like, but I may as well just get some reference up on the screen. Let me see if I can get those little robots. Yeah, these little guys. There we go. I got a quick little reference for them. You know what? I'm going to put one right here as a placeholder. Yeah, I always like those little guys. There we go. Little chompy dudes. And they do look like ducks, right? There we go. Make sure I get these guys in here real quick. I don't want to forget them. They're funny. I'm glad you mentioned these guys. I would have forgotten about them. And these guys are cool. Little mechy dudes. Little mechy droids. There we go. At least I got one down here. Maybe we could draw a couple more in the background once we get the girls a little bit more set up. All right, let's see where nearest pose is going to take us. I'm pretty sure they're probably. I'm going to say they're in the sewer underneath the pizza shop. There we go. Get her in a water down here. I'll give her a little leg wrap. There we go. I think we got something going on here. There we go. Let me pull the camera back just a little bit. There we go. All right, that's where we are so far with Nira. And we got one of those little mechy dudes back here. I think we have to have Malka right over here. I think she's going to be doing the nunchuck action over here. Let me put one of the walls of the sewers right here. I always like drawing in all of the bricks in the wall from the sewers. Cool. Obligatory drippy water. All right, let me catch up with the chat real quick before I get too far behind. Let's see. Kevin says rooftop like Daredevil. I was thinking along those lines, but the size of the figure and where everything else was ending up is like this is going to be the way to go. Let's see. Ken says they could be dropping from the sky, so you can get all of them in the same overture, like Nira first, and then like the next side. Yeah, that's true. That would have been a good idea. Kevin says, I remember the Cyclops from Babylon 5 with Walter Koenig. That's right. I remember that. From back in the day. One of the best bad guys. See, some person says she could be knee deep in sewage or ankle deep, maybe one leg out of the water. There we go. I think we accidentally followed your suggestion. I think we time traveled to yours. I think that's the way. That's the way to go, man. That's going to be the way to go. Let's see. Ken says, I think those robots were suppressed to look like mice. They were cake mousers. Mousers. Called. Yeah, called, not cake. Damn autocorrect. Kevin says, those things make me think of the Langoliers. Oh my God. I haven't thought about that movie in forever, dude. I watched it the day it came out. I watched it on TV with everybody else with their 3 channels. Kevin says, you can have your cake and eat it too. Some person says, trying to remember all the weird stuff that was in that cartoon. Yeah, they got weirder and weirder and weirder. My favorite version of the Turtles, like altogether, is just that the original black and white, it's just them versus ninjas and the Shredder. You know, it's like that. That was my favorite. And Casey Jones, yeah, yeah. I see. I see you're mentioning Casey Jones. Oh, Zen is Casey Jones. That's not bad. That's not bad, dude. I'm gonna write that down just in case, because we already have Paradox as a shredder. But Zen is Casey Jones. That is not a bad idea. I like that. Christiane says cake Mausers. Nice. Kevin says, Nira, do not want to know what she's wading through, but I suggest she enjoys a long hot dip in the tub after this is over. Yeah, no doubt. You never, I never. Every time there's a sewer adventure of any kind in comics or in movies, I'm never thinking about the fact of how bad it probably smells down there. Kevin says, "Oh, the things I do for my fans. I can't believe I got talked into this photo shoot, but damn, the money was just too good to pass up." And now I hear the Casey Jones song from the old Disney cartoon. All right, so we got a little bit of water and stuff there. Now I'm thinking we're gonna need to put Malka over here. She's got to have some nunchucks going on. Malka, Cyber Angel. Gotta make sure I give you a cool mask. Your hair always covers your ear, but I gotta draw where the ear is. Or else it all goes off the rails, man. There we go. All right, see if we get your mask on here. Gotta make you a real turtle, man. I want to make you smiling just a little bit because you like those nunchucks. Excellent. Okay, let's catch up with the chat for a little bit. Ah, good. Perfect. Perfect. I'm glad you guys like hanging out, man. This is cool. This is cool. Courtney says, I just think of the Grateful Dead song. You don't hear Casey Jones? All right, let's see about getting some nunchuck action. Gotta have your hair flying in the wind down here a little bit. Yeah, it's like you start with a general idea for a pose, but then the pose just starts emerging as you go, which is cool. I like that. I like that process. There we go. Coming together. Gotta have her hand over here. I got quiet again. I'm thinking about the pose. You get this is actually a challenge, but it's a good challenge. It's a good challenge. Because there's a lot of body positions. There's a lot of intersecting pieces. There's a couple different kinds of weapons. All right, got the other side of the sewer over here. Got to make sure you have your knee pads. Nice. Malka. All right, let's catch up with the chat a little bit. Let's see where we're at here with everybody. Let's see. Kevin says, I will get by. I will survive. I will not blow chunks in this sewer. Well, the sewer is just a movie set, so it's not a real sewer. So it actually doesn't smell bad at all. This is actually like swimming pool water. And that's my story. And I'm going to stick to it. All right, let me draw some bricks over here. Gotta draw the costumes a little bit ripped up because they're battling. Gotta have those rips. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking business. Now we're talking the business. Ken says, I will get by was their only hit. Kevin says, wind in the sewer. Okay. No one light a match. It'll be the death of us all. Ken says, sorry, touch of a gray in the name. Is yeah, okay, yeah, I got it. Christiane says Rocksteady or Slash in the background. That is a good possibility. So got to make room for our other two Cyber Angel Turtle Girls. Night Phoenix, what's up, dude? Night Phoenix is like, what is this? All right, dude. The idea is that we've got Cyber Angels dressed up as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And that's the idea. Almost forgot Malka's Delta. And then I think what we've got going on, we're going to try and fit it in, is that Paradox is going to be in the background and he's going to be the Shredder. I think that's the general idea we're going for. If we can fit Casey Jones in here somewhere, I think Casey Jones might end up being Zen. You guys, look what you're making me do. Some person says maybe some sort of mutant-looking something. Yeah, I do like that. There might be tentacles in this. There's hot chicks, so there might be tentacles coming out of the water. Some person says there could be a wide opening for stairs. That way you can have extra characters in there. Ken says Malka needs a boob window. Agreed. You did it. Some person says there could be a few dozen foot crowding in the background with Bebop and Rocksteady rushing through them, knocking them about to get to the turtles. Yes, please, let's draw 12 more characters in the background. Kevin says, oh, it's a set like Orson Welles made for the studio. Yeah. Build a set for the third man. He wouldn't shoot in his scenes in the Australian sewers, or the Austrian sewers. Yeah, man, it's a nicely well lit set sewer. Some person says, because you know how impatient they are. Mike, what's up, dude? I'm glad you're hanging out with us for a few minutes, man. That's awesome, dude. We do this thing every Saturday from 10 to 12. Everybody in the chat forces me to draw something crazy, and then I hope to God that somebody buys it at the end of the night. Having fun, dude. Having fun, man. I'm glad you're with us, man. That's awesome. Kevin says, rock steady, rocking all night long. Oh, no, I'm not going to sing it, dude. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not Gwen Stefani. Ken says, I didn't just randomly say, LOL, you did it. YouTube censored my comment about adding a boob window right before. And see, I did it anyway. Let's see, Kevin says, we love boob windows, but what does Malka think, though? Ken says, it's her idea. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's see. Let's fit our other two girls in here. We're already doing a lot because hopefully, I hope we have time for a second drawing. Might run out of time with just the one drawing tonight. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. First of all, let's see. I'll start drawing. Who's this going to be up here? It's either going to be Allura or it's going to be Mercy. That was the original idea as presented earlier in the chat. And we'll see who this ends up being here. Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be Mercy. All right, let me get rid of some of these little lines here. I don't want Mercy to be mad at me on leaving all friggin' lines all over her face. Now, for anybody watching the show who doesn't normally watch the show, doesn't know what our usual shtick is around these pots, we come up with a bunch of ideas for a couple hours, see what sticks, and then at the end of the night, we auction off the artwork to a lucky winner. And these are all ideas that have come from the chat. Sometimes I might come armed with an idea or two, but these are all ideas from the chat. And if we have enough time to do 2 drawings, we try to do 2 drawings. There was one night where we actually got to 3 drawings. That was pretty dope. So let me get Mercy's pose in here a little bit, and then I will run back and I'll catch up with the chat real quick. I'm thinking Mercy might have the size. I'm not. I think that's what I see her. What I see her having. We wanted to have the Cyber Angels as turtles. Yeah, I think I see her holding a size really well. Which means if we do make it to Allura, she's going to be holding Donatello's staff. All right, Mercy, you get to have hair now. Yeah, I want to piss her off and not. I'll leave her hairless, I say. And for anybody wondering, when we auction off the piece, whoever wins the piece, there's a couple of things that happen other than sending me a PayPal so I can actually mail it to you. One is when I ink it, because I am going to ink the piece, so it's going to be a completed piece, similar to, hey, this is Ken's artwork right here. This is Courtney. This is our Cyber Angel right here. So it's going to be a completely inked piece when you receive it in the mail. It's not going to be just the pencil. So that's the one thing. And the second thing is you can request to have it leaning a little bit more not safe for work. Right now, it's generally speaking, it's safe for work. even though I'm stretching the rules a bit. Here we go. But I'll, like tear up the clothes a little bit more battle damage here and there. So that's completely up to the winner. And then after they're inked, and after I possibly get some colors, some little digital colors put on them, we post them up on our secret Patreon page, and we can tell you about that in a little bit later in the show. All right, just want to make sure we got Mercy's place in the pose kind of set up. We got Malka with her nunchucks going off. Let's draw a little background thingy here. Yeah, so all the parts of the artwork that are like pretty loose, everything will get tightened up once we get to the actual inks. All right, let me catch up with the chat a little bit. Oh, I fell behind just by a little bit. I'm over here drawing pictures. Kevin says, "Hey, we could have Vanilla Ice." And oh my God, Vanilla Ice. Oh my God. Okay, that fills me with nostalgia, but it's also like it fills me. And I used to like Vanilla Ice a lot in the old days. I have a nostalgic spot for him. There sometimes it's cringe, but I loved Vanilla Ice back in the day. But I know. Ken says, "No, do not sully the turtles like that." I know that was about a commercial move. Kevin says Courtney has the breast ideas. Kevin says, "What? No, go ninja, go rap." I'm not gonna do it, man. Kevin says, "I could ask Kevin Eastman his feelings on that. He lived about 20 minutes away." Ah, that's right. You guys were in the same neighborhoods. Some person says his opinion would be, "How'd you get in my house?" Dude, Kevin, seriously, you shot his wedding? That is amazing, dude. Kevin meets everybody, man. I love it. Ken says, "I imagine Allura having the size. Allura is more the stabby type." Courtney says, Donatello's staff. Some person says, "You forgot to leave." That's understandable. Oh, what he's telling Kevin at the house. Ken says, "You shot his wedding. Did he marry Julie Strain?" Kevin says, "Give Allura some throwing stars, and she can." Ooh, see, I don't like that. My monitor went black for no reason. It's back. I can see that we're good. So let me know if something weird happens on your end, guys. All right, give Allura some throwing stars. She can be stabby from a distance and stay clean too. Let's see. Kevin says, "Second wedding, but Julie was a friend until she didn't remember anyone anymore." Yeah. Some person says, "Raphael, what?" Okay, then. Kevin says, "I didn't forget to leave." That's some person. His wife Courtney is a good cook. Yeah, Kevin knows people, man. He knows people. Kevin says, "Not turtles. It's Nira X and her ninja. I was gonna say ninja ets, but ninja tittles. Ninja tittles. That sounded weird. His wife. Not high. Kevin is asking, "Do you have a UPS for your computer?" Oh, you mean one of the battery things? Yeah, I do. And it actually, I think it probably protected my computer from actually getting fried. So I've got like one of those battery surge protector things that's supposed to keep your computer on for about 10 minutes if the power goes out, that sort of thing. But it's also got a surge protector as part of it too. So yeah, that actually did its job really well. It's just that the lightning strike And we've had tons of thunderstorms and stuff, and it's in bad weather and the power going out and stuff, and it's worked perfect. Everything's been totally fine. This lightning strike sounded like it literally shook the house. It made me think for a minute that it actually hit the house. So I was a little worried for a minute, and I wasn't even thinking about all the computer stuff upstairs until we got up to the studio and started seeing that things weren't working. So yeah, I think the lightning strike was just so close that there is nothing you could do. Some person says maybe a turtle hanging upside down, all confused. Some person says YouTube blocked my comment. What did you say? Why would it block a comment? See, Kevin says, since you do, you may want to check the battery on it. You know what? I will. I mean, I don't know how to check the battery on it other than turning it on and turning it off. I don't know what else I could do to it. Some person says, Donatello, looks like my dimensional thingamajig works. It does. It works. It brought you cyber angels. All right, so I'm gonna leave this little middle part here open for Paradox because he's gonna be the shredder. And if I could fit Zen as Casey Jones down here somewhere, that would be dope. All right, just got a piece of equipment over here. Some background elements here. All right, let's see what Allura says over here. I don't think you're going to see very much of Allura. I kind of like the idea of a confused turtle, like popping in from the side or hanging upside down or something like that. Just like look at like what the hell's going on. But yeah, let me have Allura looking over at Paradox. She's like, all I have is a staff. Laura's always got her little beauty mark. I'm tightening up a lot of things on this picture. This picture's got a lot of elements in it. All right, let's get her holding a staff. That's funny. It's like Zen should actually be Donatello because he already has a staff as a weapon. That's going to be a future drawing. I'm going to have to draw up Zen as Donatello. All right, let me get her holding her staff over here. All right, get her some wrist wraps. Get her a little shoulder pad. Let's see, her hair is covering up her ear, so let's go ahead and cover that up. She's wearing a tiny bikini. All right, almost got her reaction. So let's draw that little confused turtle over here somewhere. Actually, you know what? Slightly better idea. Okay, yeah, you can still. This turtle is asking all the big questions. Like, what? What is going on? All right, Paradox Shredder Man. We haven't had Paradox appear in something in a while. It's nice for him to show up. Near his nemesis, Paradox. It's kind of a big dude. He's been juicing. I'll add a lot more detail to him as we go. Start adding some shredder bits just coming out of his skin. You know, because blades come out of people's skin. This is going to be in a lot of shadow down here, so I'm going to have to ink this all real dark. All right, let me take a little break from that. That's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Let me catch up. Oh, I fell behind. Oh my God, I fell behind on the chat. Good Lord, have mercy. Some person says, I don't know. I was able to post it, put something in quotes, get around the blocking. I don't know if putting quotes around something like does something weird to the thing, or I know that if you post something that has a link or something in it. Oh no, but you have a wrench though. You're fine. Why did it block? I have no idea why. I have no idea why it would do that. Kevin says, dimensional thingamajig. Would it be wrong to think I look hot? Heroes in a half shirt. that would be absolutely their slogan. Kevin says most UPSs have a user serviceable battery, like a small car battery, and they can become worn out or damaged over time. The one that I have is actually fairly new, so I'm hoping it's fine. I'm hoping it's good to go, and it's been working fine ever since. I did have another one before, and it's really it got very very obvious that it was getting wore out, because it kept on beeping, and then if the power did go out, it would just beep. It wouldn't just keep the computer on for a couple minutes. It'd actually just go out right with the power. So, but the one that I have now is actually fairly new. I think it's working good. Some person says right now 3 Ninja Turtles are beating the tar out of a genius supervillain. Kevin says a lot of elements, but they at least all jive together thematically. Yes, that's a huge proven with UPS. That's why I prefer DHL. Yes, a huge problem, not proven. Got you. Okay, I got you. Let's see. Kevin says, "Dough." That's why I like using Bill Moss Delivery. It feels so personal. and you know what? I do deliver art in like what looks like pizza boxes. Kevin says, half shirts. I hope they get a bit wet. Spider Turtle does whatever it wants to do. Yep, he's just hanging out up there. Some person says he's going to need a simple idea for the next drawing. Not much time left. I suggest a large rack. We're just going to draw a large rack. Chet says could do Zen on a mountainside cliff with a moon reflection. That's a good idea. It's a good idea for that second drawing. Christiane says, how large? The whole page. Nice. Christiane says minimal background. Kevin says big questions. Like what are you? 34, 24, 34? Ken says, that sounds very zen. Meditating. Chet says, figure it would flex that hockey stick better. When did Casey Jones get mashed up with Bane and Jason Voorhees? Kevin says, oh, Shredder, silly me. I need to stay at my computer undistracted, obviously. All right, some person says it blocked hanging upside down. It must have interpreted it as malicious. It might, yeah, maybe. I don't know how it filters things, but maybe like the phrasing of it, like maybe it thinks you meant something else. It's possible. It's weird though, but it's possible. So Kevin says, page turned sideways, so the rack looks even bigger. Okay, now we're talking. All right. Well, I think we got enough elements on this first guy. I think we got pretty good. Let's see. I got the. I want to make sure the sides of the walls of the sewer come up like this. So when I start inking it, we got that part. And I think that this crazy piece stands as is. Ken says, mouse sideways, art for the win, Kevin. That's right. Sideways. Christiane, oh, that would be cool. For the next one. Okay, like Zen hanging off the side of a cliff. But what do you think, though? It's I don't think we have enough time. What I was going to do was like another female character on a single piece like this, like just in a rendered pencil. But if you want to do Zen on a normal sheet, and then of course we'll ink it after. Let's hang it off the side with a moon in the background, something like that. Minimal background. Okay, I'm scrolling back up. I'm reading some of the other ones. do Zen on a mountainside on a cliff with the moon reflecting. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. See, Kevin says, has it been almost 2 hours? Wow, where did I know the time goes by quick, dude. Females, they are the breast. All right. Well, we have. Wow, we really don't have a lot of time. So let's go ahead and try to do that, Zen. We'll try to do that. We'll do it in regular pencil because we are running out of time. So hanging off the side of a cliff, moon in the background. Let's see. Let me grab one of these guys. Grab that dude right there. That way we can have. By the way, guys, thanks for trusting me to ink these pieces tightly. Like seeing that, like the pencils. A lot of times the pencils are kind of loose, right? So I do appreciate your trust in me. But I like the idea of Zen hanging off the side of a cliff like that. So this could be cool. Let's try this out. Let's try it out and see what happens. What's kind of cool is that right now we're actually still working on the Zen Bounty Wars #2. We just finished that Kickstarter, and we're drawing that issue now as we speak. So it's kind of cool to be able to. I like the fact that I get to play with Zen's world. All right, let's see what we got here. Maybe Zen scoping something out. Hiding out from a beast battle. Get him clinging on the side of this cliff here for his life. I always like to draw Zen in kind of a Spider-Man-esque kind of poses. It makes me happy. Who knows what he's been doing on this planet? Some secret mission? Looking for a pizza joint? Let's put this shoulder a little bit lower. Chet's was saying that let's see, got room for a splinter with Zen. Some person says Zen. I sense Nira is doing something weird again. Kevin says a splinter with Zen, oak, pine, teak, cedar. It's possible. I mean, did you want to keep kind of the same theme going on? Keep our turtle theme alive with this piece also? Let's see. I think I want to like hanging off this cliff. Very Spider-Man-esque. Got his staff down here. Like a little alien landscape a little bit. A lot of shadow going on here. He was really hanging on for his life. Let me get a quick little thingy here. Hear me typing on my yeah, just quick little reference. Because maybe Master Splinter is here. I'll rough him in here real quick. Ah, Master Splinter. And I got Master Splinter a little bit more in his prime in this piece, I think. There we go. It was a cool idea to put Master Splinter in here. Kind of opens up a lot of possibilities. Like, what if Master Splinter in another universe was actually out there fighting with Zen somewhere? I like this. All right, that's our quick piece. Whew, I'm exhausted, bros. These were awesome ideas, though. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let me set this here. Let me set this here. I hope you guys like. Hope you guys like the way the ideas came out. You guys gave me a lot of good ones. I have to tighten this one up a lot, but that's okay, man. That's part of the whole thing. All right, so we've got 2 pieces for tonight. Let me catch up with the chat before we start the auction. We still got 2 minutes before we need to start the auction. Let's see here. Some person says, Zen, I sense Nira is doing something weird again. Yeah, that's what Kevin says, a splinter with Zen. Oh, that's the one I just read. That's the one I just read. Nira pops up. Define weird now. Kevin says a pet rat on his lap. No, I drew him like he's cool. Let's see. Chet says not staff, hockey stick. Oh, so we really want to go the. We can do that. We can do that. We can go the Casey Jones route. Do you think I should put the Casey Jones mask? There we go. A couple of cracks. He's been using this stick for battle. Yeah. Maybe even like he's kind of patched it up a couple times. Ken says Zen looks like he should be smoking a cigarette. Also, how would he smoke? That's a good question. I'm over here coughing. Let's see. Kevin says that's why Zen has a hot box on his ship. Oh, yeah, he just absorbs it through his skin. Let's see. For a moment, Splinter looked like the Boston Terrier from the old Target commercials. Chet says, if you really want to be creative, how about Zen on Zen knee? How about it Zen on Zen knee? Oh, you're gonna have to clarify that one. I don't know. Let's see. Ken says, Ken Albury, what's up, dude? All right, I'm here. Let's get this started. We're almost ready to go, man. We're putting the last couple little touches on this one, and we're gonna start the auction for the night. I'm glad you're hanging out with us, dude. That's awesome. It's awesome. Christiane says that's everything Zen. Now, if you happen to win the piece and you want to like add a little something to it, you can let me know. We'll see if we can do that. Make sure I understand. Let's see. Kevin says, so now we know what's been happening since the Ghostbusters crossed the streams and universes started crossing and merging. Kevin says Casey Jones has found his inner Zen. No doubt, dude. Christiane says, what the puck? Chet says, hockey stick is good enough. Okay, awesome. Christiane says 5 minutes for high sticking. Courtney says everything Zen. I thought we don't like bush around here. Yeah, you got to trim it, man. Like Zen is, you've achieved Zen when the bush is gone. Chet says little tiny. Oh, a little tiny. Little tiny can be somewhere. Christiane says Courtney. Ken says, it is Ken Omega. Kevin says bush is fine as long as it's not a burning bush. Ken Alpha. We have the Alpha and the Omega in the house tonight. All right, guys. We did really good. This is crazy. We got some crazy out of the box artwork tonight. This is gonna be dope. All right, let's see. I'll put the little thing on. Oh, where am I at? I forgot. Forgot where my things were. There we go. All right. Well, I'll put the little ticker tape down here. For anybody who is new to the show, we auction these pieces off every night. So we come up with ideas. At midnight, we auction it off. The only rule when it comes to bidding is when you put a number, just make sure you write the word bid next to your number. I still got to pop out the chat for when I do the countdown. Now, see, there's like 10 different things I got to do still. I don't know if I can do it yet. I didn't put in my passwords and all this. It's going to take too long. So I'm going to do the countdown the way we did before. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll work out. So you just put the number next to the word bid, and that'll be your bid. And if you do happen to win the piece, basically the only thing that happens after that is you send in your PayPal to this email address, billmossart@gmail.com. And under the notes portion of your PayPal payment, just please include that you won, describe the piece that you won, the Ninja Turtle piece or the Zen Casey Jones piece, and please include your mailing address, because that'll help me stay organized and make sure that I get the right piece of art to the right person. So that'll help me out a lot. Help me out a lot, governor. And we're going to do this for, let's see, since I'm just now getting it started, let's start with, this is our first piece. We're going to do it separately because I don't want to get confused, because that would suck. Let me put this here. Let me put this here. This will be the first piece that we're putting up for auction. We're going to let it go for 5 minutes. It's almost 12:05. So we're going to let it go until 12:10. And then we're going to do a 10-second countdown. And I think I need to take just a second and pop out the chat, so that way I could do the countdown properly. Let me do that real quick, and then I will catch up with the chat with you guys. Let me pause it. There we go. Let me pause this. Let me pause this. I got to pop out the chat real quick. This shouldn't take too long. Okay, awesome. Pop this out like this. Pop this out like this. All right. I'm getting everything where it needs to go, guys. There we go. Okay. Now, oops, here we go. Make sure I don't screw up the windows. Okay. Now I'm set. I should have popped out the chat before the show, so that way it was just sitting there. All right, let me scroll back up to find out where you guys are. Let's see. Forgot where I was. Almost there. Okay, I think this is where I was. All right, so Kevin says, who's the Omega Bomb here? We're going to find out. We're going to find out who's come here with business in mind. Who's come here with the weight. Ken says, if we ever get another Ken, we got to rethink our whole naming dynamic. Zen, am I Canadian this time? Ken Albury says, are those Ninja Turtles? Yeah, we had the idea that came in this time was that we're drawing the Cyber Angels as Ninja Turtles, and then we've got Paradox in the background as the Shredder. So that's how everything came about tonight. Ken says they're heroes in a half shirt. All right, recycled joke, but you weren't here when you made it, so it's new to you. That's right, damn it. Can't deny him of that one. That was a good one. They got points. Heroes in a half wet shirt. I will buy that for $1. Kevin, thank you, sir, for getting things started. Kevin started it out for $1. Ken in the room with 20. Thanks, dude. Chris Dehan in here with 23. Thank you, my friend. Let's see. Kevin says, Bill, if you don't know where you are, we can't help you. I know, right? Ken Albury says, Ken Tryon will arrive soon someday. The third Kevin. Okay, the third Ken. Some person says no matter where you go, that is where I am. I laughed at Heroes in a Half shirt. You're cool, Ken. Paul says 40. Thank you, my friend. Let's see, it's 12:07, so we've got 3 minutes left. Awesome. Courtney in the room with 25, with 45. Thanks, Courtney. You're awesome. Chris Dehan back in the room at 48. I got a little bit of a delay, but I'm catching up, guys. Paul back in the room with 50. Thanks, dude. Let's see. I'm gonna skip down a little bit, so I want to catch up with you guys. Chris Dehan was at 53. Courtney came in with Courtney with the 69. Tradition has been upheld, my friends. You're awesome. All right, Chris Dehan back in the room with 72. Nice. The traditional 69 has been upheld, my friends. Kevin says, hey, I can only I can bid 69. Badgers. Kevin says, because we don't need no sticking badges. All right, Ken is in a room with 80. Thanks, Ken. Awesome, dude. Let's see, it's 12:08. So we got a little less than 2 minutes left. I'll turn it sideways this way this time. Oh. At least I popped out the chat without messing up the windows. I'm very proud of myself. All right, less than 1 minute left to go. Ken, you have got the big bid in the room right now. Thank you, sir. Chris Dehan in the room with 83. Thanks, dude. Time is almost up. We're almost getting ready to do a 10-second countdown. Oh, and time is up. I'm going to jump out into the live chat to do the countdown so that way we don't have delays. Ken in the room with 88. Thanks, dude. All right, going to the live chat now for the countdown, starting with 9, 8. Oh, I got to stop the countdown. I see Chris Dehan in the room with 91. Thanks, dude. All right. Continuing the countdown at 7, 6, 5, 4. And remember, we do have the 3-second rule countdown thingy thing. So it's 3. Oh, interrupting the countdown at 3. Courtney in the room with 120. Got you boys beat. Look at you guys. All right, starting the countdown again at 3. That is one of the rules. When we get down to the 3-second rule, when we get down to the 3-second count, we do 3, 2, 1. And if there is an interruption, we start at 3 again. So 2, 1. Marking it 000 as sold and sold. All right, let me scroll up, make sure we've got everybody here. Nobody else jumped in at the last second. Awesome. Courtney, this is yours. Awesome. Please, everybody congratulate Courtney. That was awesome. That was some good drama there at the end. Dope. Kevin says, congrats. That's sweet. Ken Albury saying, well done. Ken says, congrats from across the couch. Courtney says, awesome. You are awesome, Courtney. That's awesome. Good bidding. I like the tension. I like the tension. Christopher Bouchard says, congrats. Awesome. Paul says, good going. Everyone, congrats. You guys are awesome. Some person says, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you, some person. And thank you so much, too, because some person does share a lot of our links in the chat. And reminding people to like and subscribe is actually kind of huge, especially when our channel is as small and personable as our channel is. So liking the broadcast and, of course, subscribing is a huge help for us right now. I appreciate you guys. Christy Hen says, congratulations. Courtney says, I have my people. Ken, contact your people. Very cool. Make sure you check out the links that some person is sharing. Much appreciated. That's my webpage right there. Awesome. Kevin says, I'm picturing that scene from Hudson Hawk where the bad guys are outbidding each other. Some person says, oh, the secret Patreon club. That's right. That's right. That's our secret Patreon club link right there. Some person says, even if you're staying on the other chats, subscribing helps this channel. It helps so much. It helps a huge amount. All right, I'm going to set this piece off to the side. This is Courtney, so I'm going to write Courtney on the back of this one. And Courtney, you can let me know in the chat if you want me to keep it basically just the way it is, or if you want me to push it a little bit more not safe for work. Honestly, I think it's like super fun like it is like this. But you let me know in the chat, and I'll put a little note on the back of the piece. So that way I know what you would like. And that would be awesome. All right, our second piece for the night, a little bit rougher, but it's going to be all set up and good to go. Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you, Courtney. I heard the little sound on my phone. You guys are awesome. Courtney says, as is, it's going on the wall. Perfect. I'm gonna write that down on there right now. You guys are awesome. This is a fun piece. I love it. You guys came up with a lot of good ideas. All right, we've got Zen taking the place of Casey Jones, training with Splinter. This is gonna be a fun piece. Yeah, Ken, thank you so much, dude. I just heard the phone off in the distance go cha-ching. You guys are awesome. Kevin says, so no wet t-shirts. Boo. All right, we'll start the bidding for it's 12:15, so this will go till 12:20. This is going to go till 12:20, and we'll do a 10-second countdown at 12:20. Kevin getting things started in the room with $1. All right, got that written down, and I'll make sure I keep up with everybody. Let's see. Yep, we've got 5 minutes left. Let's see. Ken says maybe a not safe for work Patreon version. Yeah, you know what? I think we will do that. Because we could digitally make a not safe for work version of that, and that'll be cool. And if for some reason I forget, you remind me. But I'm gonna put a note on it. I'll make sure I put a note on it. Chet's telling me to check my phone. I see. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. A little tiny Zen. Adding a little tiny Zen to with his stab. He's gonna poke Splinter in the head. I like that idea. There we go. I got my little note there, so I know that Zen, little tiny Zen, is on Big Zen, and he's about to attack Splinter. I like that. That's cool. All right, let me catch up with the chat real quick. Oh, thank you, some person. I do have this second Patreon. The Bill Moss Art Patreon page is going to start becoming active in December. I've got a cool story that I'm going to be posting like one page every week, and it's going to last for like basically like for the next whole year. So I hope you guys catch up with that. And of course, I'll be posting other things on that page too, but it's not going to be active until December. So it's going to be kind of like a little bit of a Christmas special. Chris Dehan in the room with $5. Thank you, dude. Got 3 minutes left. I realize this one's pretty sketchy. We had to sketch this one out pretty fast, but it's going to be inked super tight, just like all the other ones. I'll make sure to take my time with it. Some person sharing Cat Mouse's site. Please do visit her website. I think she's actually open for commissions now too. So she's starting to get a little bit more busy. She finally got 1,000 followers on her Instagram, and I believe she's going to start doing weekly Instagram live streams, but I don't know what day. Paul in the room with 20. Thanks, Paul. I see you there, Ken, for 20, but Paul's already got you first for the 20. Oh, Ken is back with 30. Thank you, Ken. Chris Dehan back in the room with 33. Thank you, bro. Ken says, thanks for plugging the Reddit the other day, Bill. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I actually need to plug it more often. So, and I've got a tab for it on my thing now. So I'm going to be plugging it more often so that people see it. And then hopefully people will start sharing their own Nira X pictures on that Reddit too. We have a Nira X Reddit page. And if you, I can't share it on the thing right now, but we're doing the thing, but I got to find it. I'm so putting all my tabs where they're supposed to go. Paul back in the room with 35. Thanks, dude. There you go. You can follow Cat on X at Cat Mouse Art. Awesome, awesome. Chris Dehan says, and the moon changes to O'Neill's left boob. Chris Dehan in the room with 38. Thank you, dude. Paul back in the room with 40. You're awesome, dude. Some person says, I actually need to plug it more often. I am a treasure trove of sound bites. Oh, thanks, some person. There's that Reddit link right there. Awesome, awesome. So you can see Nira X posts, and you can also post your own stuff too. So if you see some Nira X stuff, or you want to post fan art, whatever you want to post on there, it's awesome, awesome. Chris Dehan in the room with 43. Thank you, dude. Very cool. Yep. Saying thanks to some person for the link share. Awesome. Wow. Where did the time go? It is 12:20. It's time for the 10-second countdown. All right. Chris Dehan, you've got the large bid in the room right now. You've got the heavy wallet at 43. I'm going to go to the pop out. I'm going to pop out in the other chat and start the 10-second countdown right now. 9, 8. Oh, I just saw Ken in the room with 50. Thanks, dude. Awesome, bro. All right, continuing the countdown from 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, marking it sold with 000. And here we go. And sold. Let me scroll up, make sure nothing else popped in when I wasn't looking. Sold to Ken. Please, everybody, congratulate Ken. That's awesome, dude. Kevin says, no 69. Nope. He's not being badgered with that tonight. Everybody, please congratulate Ken. That's awesome, dude. Thanks. All right. Kevin Green saying congrats. Chris Dehan saying congrats. Ken says not safe for work. Joke. Yeah, we'll keep this one all right. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Paul says, "Good job, Ken. Awesome, awesome." I know it's what you meant. This time I knew. Christopher Bouchard says, "Congrats, awesome, awesome." Kevin says, "Now the two pieces can be stitched together." All right, let me put the two pieces together. Hey, this is a Zazer night right now. This is a 2-for-1 special. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to write "not safe for work" really big on the back of this one. Thank you so much, guys. All right, I don't have to be in the pop-out chat anymore, so that's good. Juggling 2 or 3 windows always it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's worth it. It's worth it to do it for you guys. All right, I'm going to set that right there. That way we see what we got here. Let's see. Paul is asking, any chance you will do Richmond Raceway Con next month, Richmond Comic Con? Unfortunately, no. Let me see here. Let me see where I'm at. Next month, September. I'm looking at the old calendar. I see that we've signed up. We've signed up for. There's a Comic Con happening at the Field House in Virginia Beach, but it doesn't show that we're confirmed for that show just yet. Thank you guys. Thanks, Ken. And that's actually the only show, because of the schedule and because I'm catching up with these 2 books. The only other show I was scheduled to go to was Fan X in Salt Lake. I was supposed to go to Salt Lake City, and I actually had to cancel that trip. So that was the only other one. We are going to be doing Fairfax Comic Con next week on the 23rd. So that's where we're kind of building towards for next week. That's as much as I know about my schedule for right now as far as shows. Courtney says Zen needs a dick window. I love you guys. That is what I expected Ken to type. Yeah. You guys are the best. This is awesome. Well, you know what? I'm happy for multiple reasons. Most of all right now because I get to hang out with you guys every weekend and do fun stuff. This is a good excuse for us to hang out and have fun and come up with this crazy shit, right? It's so cool. I love it. I love it. Another reason I'm happy is, we do have that Fairfax show coming up. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy the computer didn't get fried. I'm telling you, when lightning, it was 2 days ago now. So when the lightning struck, I really thought it hit the house. It was so loud. And I'm still in the middle of like updating all my settings. I've got to upload all my fonts still. It's crazy. But I'm so happy that the computer is actually working. I didn't have to do something crazy to try and get online again. Paul says, hope to be at Fairfax Con with some company. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We're definitely going to be there. Me and Kat are both going to be there. Kevin says, my eyes, they burn. Courtney's laughing her ass off. Ken says Zen's a hockey stick weapon is his second choice. You guys are the best. Man, well, this is awesome. You know what? I've got, I think I've got some freaking Chips Ahoy or something I could steal out of the fridge. I think I'm going to take a break. I'm going to have a snack. I'm going to sit back and watch something on the old TV. Let's see. Kevin says, "What? Why did that staff hit me? Feel fleshy." That's awful, dude. It made that schmack sound. You guys are awesome. All right, guys. Well, hey, you know what? This was a lot of fun. Next weekend, obviously, it's going to be different because we're going to be at Fairfax Comic Con. So I'll have to post whether or not if I can do the show at all, if I could do the draw stream at all next week, it'll be on Sunday next week because we'll still be at Fairfax Comic Con on Saturday. So I'll post a little thingy on my Facebook And if for some reason we can't do it next week because we're driving back and we get back a little bit too late, I'll make sure that I upload a little thing on there so that way you guys know what's going on. Ew. Kevin says, Zen behind Nero doing the boob grab from the Rolling Stone cover. Oh, you remember that cover? I love that cover. Some person says, watch out for his sack of pain. Kevin says, exactly. Sad sack. Oh man, I still got the silly banner going. Here we go. Let's get rid of that thing. We don't need that right now. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been good times, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and chill out, watch a little TV, eat some chocolate chip cookies. Thank you guys for collecting. Thank you guys for hanging out and having so much fun. These weekends are awesome. Always have fun with you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope Sunday treats you good, and we'll do this again. I was just about to say let's do it again next weekend, but I just said next weekend we might not be doing it because of the show. But I'll post and I'll let you guys know what's happening. So I hope you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks again. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night, Seattle.